Have you ever stopped to think about the stuff in your kitchen? Like really think about it?
Go on.
Well, that glossy coating on your old cast iron skillet,
Yep.
or maybe the inside of your washing machine drum.
Ah, porcelain enamel. Right.
Exactly. It's everywhere. Architectural panels, appliances, cookware. But honestly, how often do we actually think about it?
Probably not much. Lefty
Like,
chips, maybe.
Right. Well, today we're changing that. We are taking a deep dive into the global porcelain enamel market.
And it's surprisingly dynamic.
It really is. Our mission here is to sort of unpack the key insights, the surprising trends, using data from cognitive market research.
Looking at growth, regional outlook.
Yeah, we want to see what these numbers tell us about bigger economic shifts globally. So, okay, let's unpack this. Who knew porcelain enamel could be like a major economic indicator?
It's a fascinating lens, isn't it? Because when you track demand for a material like this,
You're seeing more than just enamel sales.
precisely, you're seeing industrialization patterns, consumer demand pulses, the rise and, well, the steadiness of different economies.
And the growth rates give clues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those compound annual growth rates, the KGRs, they paint a really clear picture of where expansion is happening and maybe hint at the why. It's a material about longevity, utility,
So its market reflects foundational stuff.
foundational economic activity, exactly.
Okay, so let's zoom out then. The big picture. Globally, this isn't some tiny niche market.
Not at all. Quite significant.
Right. In 2021, the market value was just over 4.18 billion US dollars.
Already a hefty sum.
But here's where it gets interesting. Projections. They show it hitting 6.25 billion by 2025.
A pretty quick jump.
And then leaping again to over 9.1 billion dollars by 2033.
Wow.
Which gives it a compound annual growth rate, that CAGR, of 4.81%.
And that number, nearly 5% globally for porcelain enamel, that's really compelling.
Why compelling? Because it's an old material?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't, some brand new tech disrupting everything. It's mature, proven.
Yeah. So steady growth means?
It means the industry's using it, appliances, cookware, even construction. They're not just stable, they're actively expanding globally.
Demand is consistently strong.
Right. Stronger than just inflation, suggesting, improving living standards, industrial investment, and reliable stuff. It's a baseline indicator.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, which regions are really pushing that growth?
Ah, yes. The regional breakdown is key.
And some are really pushing hard. Let's kick off with the big one, Asia Pacific.
The leader, both in size and speed.
Definitely. Largest market, fastest growing overall. In 2021, it was already almost $1.9 billion.
Huge share.
And by 2033, projected to hit nearly $3.5 billion. That's a regional CAGR of 5.441%, even faster than the global average.
It's significant acceleration.
Then within Asia Pacific, well, no surprises, China is a huge player.
Dominant force, yeah.
Its market was over $737 million back in 2021, expected to pretty much double
Two.
to $1.42 billion by 2033. That's a strong CAGR for China, 5.837%.
Very strong for such a large base.
But wait, here's like a real moment. India.
Ah, yes. India's story is fascinating here.
Its growth is even faster, started smaller, around $341 million in 2021.
Okay.
Projected to hit nearly $679 million by 2033. And get this, CAGR, 5.926%.
The highest we've seen so far.
Right. So why? Why is India, with a smaller starting point, growing even faster than massive China? What's going on there?
That's a really crucial question. It points to different stages of, development, I suppose.
How so?
Well, China's growth is massive, driven by established manufacturing, big cities, But India is maybe in a more rapid foundational expansion phase.
Like more first-time buyers.
Exactly. A growing middle class getting their first fridge, first modern stove, first washing machine, plus big investments in housing infrastructure.
Where enamel is a good fit. Durable, cost-effective.
Precisely. So China's market is bigger overall, but India's higher CAGR suggests that earlier, really explosive phase of consumer and industrial build-out.
Yep.
Playing catch-up, maybe, but with incredible speed.
That makes sense. Catch-up growth versus established growth.
And you still see solid numbers from places like Japan, too, just under 5% CAGR. Shows maturity, but also innovation.
Okay, that distinction is really helpful. Now, Asia-Pacific is clearly the powerhouse, but it's not the only high-growth story, is it?
No, definitely not. South America is showing some real strength, too.
Right. Their market, just over $311 million in 2021.
Smaller base than Asia-Pac, of course.
But projected to reach 665 million by 2033. And the regional KGR there is also strong, almost 5%, 4.9991%.
Very solid growth.
And within South America, Brazil is the clear leader.
Yeah, Brazil's economy has that scale.
It's expected to grow from about 105 million in 2021 to nearly 229 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 5.106% for Brazil.
Just over that 5% mark. Consistent.
And interestingly, Colombia actually has a slightly higher CAGR, 5.177%, though starting from a smaller base.
That's interesting. Suggests broad-based growth drivers in the region.
So if we link these two, Asia-Pacific and South America, what's the common thread?
I think it's that narrative of global development, really. Expanding cities, big infrastructure pushes.
And just more people wanting durable goods.
Exactly. Access to modern amenities spreading. And in South America, you also have strong domestic manufacturing, especially for appliances, which uses a lot of enamel.
For good reason, longevity, hygiene.
Right. It shows how fundamental this material is when economies are modernizing.
It's amazing how these numbers really do paint that picture of progress. Okay, let's pivot now. What about the more established markets, the ones using enamel for ages?
Right, North America and Europe, still huge markets.
North America first, still a major player, almost $1.5 billion in 2021.
Significant slice of the global pie.
Projected to reach nearly $2.5 billion by 2033. So solid growth, a CAGR of 4.43%.
Steady, if not quite as explosive as Asia-Pacific.
And the U.S. obviously takes the biggest share within that, growing from about $1.17 billion to $1.92 billion by 2033.
And its CAGR.
Steady. 4.346%. Canada and Mexico also chipping in with KGRs around, 4.6 to 4.8%. Pretty consistent across the region.
Okay, makes sense.
Now, over to Europe. Similar story.
Broadly, yes. Steady progress.
Okay, Europe overall. $1.14 billion in 2021. Projected to hit just over $1.9 billion by 2033.
As a growth rate.
Healthy. CGR of 4.625%. A little higher than North America's overall rate, interestingly.
Slight variations are always worth noting.
And within Europe, Germany actually leads the pack among the major economies with the CAGR of 5.088%.
Germany. Strong manufacturing base.
Right. Growing from about $184 million to $332 million by 2033. Others like the UK, Spain, France show solid growth too, just maybe a bit slower.
So contrasting these established markets, North America, Europe, with the high flyers like India or Brazil.
Right.
What does that tell us?
Yeah, what's the difference in why they're growing?
Well, in North America and Europe, the growth probably isn't driven as much by first-time buyers getting basic appliances for new homes.
More like replacement, upgrades.
It's exactly. Replacement cycles for high-quality goods, maybe trends towards premium kitchens, architectural uses.
Higher value application.
Potentially. And continued industrial demand. Germany's higher rate, for example, might link to its engineering focus, maybe specialized industrial enamel uses that command higher value.
So it shows the material works across different economic stages, foundational and high-end.
Precisely. Enduring utility.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So not just volume, but value matters too. Now, let's quickly touch on the developing markets where the pace looks a bit different.
Right, the Middle East and Africa.
Middle East first. Market was around $220 million in 2021, projected to hit $342 million by 2033.
Still growing then.
Yes, but the CAGR is a bit lower here, 3.187%. Saudi Arabia is a big part of that market, growing at a similar rate.
Okay, so positive but more moderate growth.
And then Africa. Market size in 2021 was about $136 million.
Smaller starting point again.
Expected to grow to just over $211 million by 2033. The CAGR is 3.229%, very similar to the Middle East.
Interesting similarity.
Nigeria stands out a little within Africa, slightly higher CAGR at 3.431%. South Africa, also a significant contributor, but growing a bit slower.
So looking at the Middle East and Africa, even though the growth is, let's say, more measured than Asia-Pacific?
It's still positive, still significant progress.
Absolutely. It reflects that ongoing urbanization, infrastructure build-out, consumer markets slowly expanding.
And the enamel use might be different, more basic stuff.
That's more focused on those foundational items, yeah.
Yeah.
Basic cookware, water heaters, some construction materials, rather than maybe the high-end appliance finishes or complex architectural panels you see elsewhere.
So each region really does have its own story.
It really does. Different economic landscapes, different needs being met by this very versatile material. It underlines its role across all phases of development.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground, a lot of numbers. Let's try and synthesize this. What's the big takeaway from this deep dive into porcelain enamel?
I think the main thing is porcelain enamel is definitely not some fading old world material. It's a consistently growing global market.
That near 5% global KGR proves that.
Right. It signals this enduring need for durable, versatile materials in really fundamental industries. But the real story, I think, is the contrast.
Between the regions.
Yes, you've got that explosive growth, like in India, driven by mass adoption, new construction, then the strong, steady growth in North America and Europe, driven by replacement, premium goods, specialized
So
uses.
it's not just one growth story, it's many.
Exactly. And it shows how one seemingly simple material can reflect these really complex, multi-layered economic shifts happening all over the world.
And that's where it gets really fascinating, right? When you put the extremes side by side. India's nearly 6% growth,
Signaling that huge wave of first-time ownership and building.
compared to, say, the Middle East around 3%, or even Italy in Europe at maybe 3.6%.
It's not just faster versus slower.
No, it points to totally different economic things happening at the same time. Consumer behavior, industrial strategy, development stage. It all impacts this market.
It's a powerful reminder of how the global economy moves forward, but, unevenly,
Yeah.
yet consistently forward.
And this detailed data, even for something like enamel, it gives us a window into that.
A crucial window, I'd say. Beyond just the headline GDP figures, it helps you understand the real demand for durable stuff, how much building is going on, industrial expansion.
It's not just about pots and pans.
Not at all. It's about the building blocks of modern life and industry. The patterns we've talked about reflect huge economic shifts touching pretty much everyone.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the global porcelain enamel market, a story of steady, resilient growth overall, but with some incredibly dynamic regional differences.
From kitchens to skyscrapers, it's quietly shaping things.
And the market's only heading upwards.
Looking at these numbers, it really hammers home how even these seemingly niche industries offer a vital perspective on big global economic trends.
It's more than just enamel.
Way more. And these varying growth rates across continents, across countries, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What specific local innovations or consumer shifts are really driving demand in those high-growth spots?
Like what's happening on the ground in India or Brazil specifically.
Exactly. And then how might those trends affect choices for other materials, other supply chains in the coming years?
Easily.
It's a fascinating mix of local details and global connections.
Definitely food for thought. We hope this deep dive gave you a new perspective on a material you might just walk past every day and maybe showed how market data like this can help understand the wider world.